Bonjour. Welcome to Shoot the Defence. I'm your host, Stel. I've got Steve here. I've got Rhodri Geeks. Gentlemen, how are we? How the
Hello,
devil
Stel.
are we?
Well, good, mate. Are you?
Excellent, mate. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Is my sound quality all right, by the way? Because I've got these new speakers.
Don't know. I've just had to put mine up. Thought it might have been a bit muffled there. Thought it might have been
echoey, but you know.
Echo.
Yeah,
all right. Let me see if I can change. Let me see if I can change it. Hang about. Fuck's sake, man. Yes. What about now?
Better.
Rod?
Yeah, it's sort of better, but all this should have been done before you were talking crap, before you were waiting for me. Shouldn't it? Should all be done.
Shut up. Talking crap. What do you mean? How you only got 33 points in FPL at the weekend?
Like I said before, the quote is the sun shines on a dog's ass once in a while. That's a good quote. That I've always liked that quote.
Listen, my friend, we're talking about being a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've praised that all season.
Have you taken your eye off the ball then? Have you been too busy to change your team?
No. Why am I bottom?
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. The reason why I'm asking is because it's double game week, isn't it?
Who's bottom?
Well, for now, me. But
what's the point difference? Just letting the people know where we're at.
Let them know. But when we have this conversation again on Monday, we'll see. We'll see who's going to be bottom of the league.
Well, on Monday, I'll have a totally different team. See, I know my team now. You can't obviously see it, but you'll see it after Wednesday, Thursday.
All right.
Big change round. Big change.
Okay. Urigella, bending spoons and all that. All right. So how is everyone anyway?
Not used my free hit yet. You know, Stez has already burned that bridge.
What about your wild card? You use your wild card for this section?
I'm not sure. Not how many. I don't think I've used any cards. Just free flowing.
I use triple captain, and Salah got me some points, which I'm quite pleased about.
Yeah, I've had triple captain. That's the one I've used. Yeah.
And I used my wild card after like the third game of the season.
You got another.
Yeah, I know. So I got one for this stage. Yeah.
Long way to go. What are we in February? You know, March around the corner. May 2.5 months. Long way to go.
Okay. All right. You been good, Steve?
Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Excellent. So, we spoke about the title race weeks ago, and we said it's far from over because if Liverpool win their games in hand, if buts and maybes, now we're almost there. Really, they've got Leeds they've got Leeds tomorrow. Sorry, win that, they're 3 points behind City. But your boy Steve, 3-2 defeat against Spurs, and to be honest, mate, looking at the way Spurs played, the way they set up, got men behind the ball, and referring back to what you said last season about City struggling against teams that play three at the back, I wouldn't say the victory was a surprise because anything can happen in football, obviously, but no one really expected it, to be fair, did they? Majority of people.
No. So credit to Tottenham, they were excellent. City were good. They're always good at the Etihad. They didn't really disappoint other than the result, but they weren't sparkling, and obviously that agenda about them not having a centre forward, and when they tried to get one with 4 increased bids, he ends up playing well and winning the game for Tottenham on the same event. So that'll run again, and will it come to their cost in the end? I don't think it will, but possibly it did at weekend.
So where did it go wrong for City then? Because I looked at the line that they played, and they played very, very high, but then Spurs played very, very deep.
Yeah.
So was it the fact that they were caught napping? Because let's be 100% honest, the winner, I don't know what Kyle Walker was doing, and then again, I don't know what the left back was doing for the cross in the box.
Yeah.
So we're talking about lapse of concentration here, or fatigue creeping in.
Well, I think Kyle Walker, I don't think he's lost his pace. He doesn't carry any weight, but since that bit of ill discipline in the Champions League, getting a Champions League ban, I think he's possibly lost a little bit of trust. And I do think he's fantastic, but I also don't think he defends the back post well when crosses come in from that side. And he nearly always heads him out for a corner when he wins the header because his body shape is wrong and he should be half and half. Basically where you can see both goalkeepers, one by your side and obviously looking up the pitch, but his shoulders are always closed. And I think in that moment, Kane's got over the top of him early and scored a fantastic goal that maybe only he could have scored. So credit to them. It was a great cross and finish, and unpicking it without getting carried away about City. I think Rhodri's been superb in the middle of the pitch, but Tottenham wanted to play on the counter attack, and they did it very well. And when City are up against a counter-attacking team, Fernandinho is the best at stopping it with fouls, tactical fouls, and of course genuine tackles. So I think they possibly missed a trick by not playing in there. But like I say, I thought City were pretty good, but Tottenham were excellent. And, it's no disgrace. The run City have been on, getting beat by a team out of the top 6 or 7, and that's what happened.
And Rod, Spurs went into this game form a bit iffy, and I think someone was saying yesterday that Antonio Conte hadn't lost 4 games in a row or something along those lines ever. And here they were going into this game at the Etihad against the champions, and they put in a very, very good performance. I think Bentancur looked a bit off the pace in the first 15, 20 minutes, but, let's be honest, he's still settling in. But Son and Kane were absolutely phenomenal, weren't they?
Yeah, it's what you want as players. Well, maybe not if you've lost 3 in a row, but the real players, that's what you want to do. You want to go into City's back garden, and it's win or bust, and usually in a season when the team beats you, you usually have a bogey team in a season, and obviously City's this year it is Tottenham and. Beating him at the start of the season and then again today. It just happens that way sometimes. I don't know why, but Harry Kane chooses to have his best game of the season and win February. So Son and Kane, they can be difference makers. It's as simple as that. City have got them all over the pitch. They just didn't turn up on the day, and Tottenham's did, and that was the difference.
Got a comment here from Costa from the Gate 7 International podcast. He said, pity me, my mates in the UK made me a Spurs fan. Do you think the City game was a turning point for Spurs and Harry Kane? Top 4 possible? That's a twofold question, and it's a great segue onto what I wanted to discuss, and that's Harry Kane. Now, a lot of the talk at the beginning of the season was, really, why did he join City? He wanted to leave Spurs. He did a U-turn. City were obviously in the hunt to sign him. And Steve, I'm pretty sure you were very, very excited or wanted Harry Kane to join City. Now, this guy, as Rod said, he hasn't had a great season, but he's showed up in a game like this. What do you think turned things around for him? Do you think it was the fact that it was City and he wanted to remind them, but at the same time, he's a consummate pro, right? So surely he should be raising his game for every game.
Yeah, not easy. You're playing the wrong way mostly, facing the wrong way. You're up against 2 really good, quick, young centre halves every week. You're having for the team to drop into your own half to help out with the block, I think they call it these days. Then you've got to receive it on the half turn to help the team on the counter attack. And this is somebody who does his best stuff in the penalty area. I just think Tottenham were devastatingly good to get into the channels against City, because City leave those fullback areas open, because basically they're either down the wing or they're in centre midfield. And there was an opportunity for Spurs to raid down the right and left wing, which isn't often, available for them. Once they did, they also got the final ball across. And that's what he thrives upon. And you only have to look at the Euros. He was written off. He was having a poor Euros. He ends up being one of the players of the tournament by the end of it. I think he does it in bundles. I'm not sure he's obviously like a week in, week out man, anymore. Who is? It's so hard to be that player. But I just think every 3 or 4 games that he doesn't go, I think he's more likely to go 3 or 4 games with. And I think that's probably where it's just about at, especially going into the game on Wednesday, which is Burnley, who did win away at Brighton. But it's a good fixture for Tottenham and for Harry Kane on Wednesday.
And Rod, do you think top 4 is now a big possibility for Spurs? It's a big win. It'll do their confidence the world of good. And as Steve said, they've got Burnley next. A win there, getting a bit close, isn't it?
Yeah, it should. But you wouldn't be surprised if you come away with Burnley winning that game. So, they've lost 3 games for a reason. That they're obviously not consistent enough, and they haven't got the players that Conte wants. They should really go on and beat Burnley and press on now as a team. But we've not seen it this season, so it's going to be close though between Arsenal, United, and Tottenham now because they've all had good results on the weekend, and it's going to them where now and United are coming into a run of games now that it's going to be tough in March. I think it's Liverpool, City, Madrid, and someone else in there as well, maybe Spurs as well. So it's going to go to the wire, but it's going to be between them three teams. I see West Ham tailing off. That that it's finally catching up with him. The European, the long season with not a massive squad. Yes, they've got a good squad, but not a massive squad with depth and quality. So that's going to catch up with him, and it looks like we're seeing that. And who else is in there? That's it. In it,
Arsenal, Wolves.
Wolves could be a late shout because they don't concede many goals, but they don't score many either. So you just worry on that. But with them not conceding, they've always got a chance.
Tottenham's next 3 games are Burnley, Leeds, and Everton. Now, okay, it's not a dead cert, but you can see them getting 9 points out of that before getting to the Man United game. That being said,
sorry to interrupt, you say that, but these teams, they're fighting for their lives now down there. Leeds need a win.
You think Everton are really fighting, though? The way that they've been playing lately?
Yeah. Because, people, Norwich are picking up results, Watford are picking up results, Burnley have just picked up results, plus they've got games in hand. It's all right, these Everton saying, they've got the squad. They need to start picking up results because these teams are nicking results here and there. It's all right, Everton, they're too good to go down. We've seen it before. Teams are not too good to go down. If they haven't got the right mindset, it doesn't matter who the manager is. He's not a will beater. He was a will beater as a player, but he's not as a manager. Yeah, he's not proved that anyway. So it's a big job for him.
What I will say in terms of Tottenham's top 4 hopes, and I know it's an obvious one, but they've conceded 31 goals this season, I think, and they've scored 31. So scoring obviously ain't the problem because they've scored more than Wolves. But at the same time, they're not keeping clean sheets. And you can't expect to get top 4 if you're not keeping clean sheets. I think it's going to be very difficult. But at the same time, they don't have Europe to contend with. Okay, they've got the FA Cup, but they don't have the distraction of European football. I still think that the 4th place will either go to Man United or Arsenal. That's just my honest opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I fancy United. First of all, they're in the spot to begin with. They've got something to hold on to. A big point is I think they've got the best team, which makes me believe that's why they're 4th at the moment. But a big crucial point, I think, going with what Rhodri was saying about the fixture, it's not a pile-up. It's what you want. You want big games, but I actually think Manchester United have got the better bench. You saw it yesterday. They're not like high tariff players that came on, but it was a great substitution. They both scored. Rashford didn't get on. Cavani, wherever he is, will probably play again. I just think United have got better depth, better quality to cope with the running.
Rod, what about you? Tottenham top 4?
I would like to think United, like everything that Stez has just said, but we've not seen it this season. And when it's come against the top teams, they've put them to the sword. Very, very easily. So will that change? I don't know. And there's 2 or 3 games there that I don't. At least 2 games that I don't see him winning out of the 4. Which is, I think, is it Liverpool or is it City? I can't remember.
It'd be Liverpool and City because it was last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Liverpool, City, Madrid, and Tottenham, I think it is. So Liverpool and City, I don't see him getting anything. Not off this season. Not what I've seen. They play for 45 minutes against these elite teams that are Liverpool and Manchester City, and they'll put put them to the sword. It only takes 5-10 minutes, and these teams will finish you 3 or 4 goals. So you'd like to think that they've got their act together now, but Leeds scored 2 goals in 30 seconds yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? You've segued the next question. That's about the Man United Leeds United game. We know the history between the two clubs. There's no love lost whatsoever. It's always going to be a hostile atmosphere at Ellen Road, regardless of the opposition. But when United come to town, it's even more. Yeah. But yeah, as you said, Leeds scored twice, 2 in the space of a minute and a half or something along those lines. But United bossed the first half. Man United bossed that first half. Leeds came out in the second half. But when it went to 2-2, part of me thought this could be a massive capitulation for Man United, because given the directness, given the aggression that Leeds showed, they were out of the traps in the second half, and they were really putting in some challenges that were meaty. That being said, on the flip side, I was saying to myself, number one, Leeds always concede goals, and there's going to be more goals in this game. And number two, this is a test of character for Man United, because we saw against Aston Villa how Villa came back into the game. United almost lost that. But going to Ellen Road, in those conditions as well, because that pitch was, 1970s, 1980s, right? And as I mentioned, with the tackles flying in, I thought some United players might go hiding. But at the same time, I was like, right, this is your time to show that you've got the minerals to get a victory. And lo and behold, one of the standout players was a guy that came on, Fred, who, let's be honest, people will say that he's not United quality, but what is United quality these days? He came on, he scored the goal to make it 3-2, and then Langer made it 4-2, and that was it. But in terms of United's overall play, Rod, especially that second half, what do you make of their attitude and their commitment and the way that they were going in for those challenges? Because McTominay was like a man possessed.
Yeah, when they went to 2-2, it was never a thought. It's just surprising, really. It was never a thought in my mind that we're going to lose this, which is surprising because that's, like you said, they were playing so well, and there was no places to hide. They needed everyone, and everyone turned up. Shaw was putting it in. Lindelof was bringing the ball out very well and creating opportunities. Same with Maguire. They've obviously seen that before the game and made that a key area where, it's 1-on-2 with the centre halves, and one of them it gives a chance to bring it out. Then they need to do that, and they did it very, very well. And they created a goal from it. So yeah, they played well. Ronaldo was quiet, but it doesn't really matter. We won the game. If people saying, "Oh, he doesn't score, he doesn't create," I disagree. It was his move that brought the space for Lindelof to go into. If he doesn't run into that space or move that centre half away, that space is not there. So he's still working off the ball to create space. So I just disagree with that. And yeah, everyone, like Stel says, like you said, sorry, the substitutes coming on and doing very well. Langer scoring and Fred doing very, very well as well. So yeah, it was a good day all around.
Steve, when Pogba went off, I'm sure a lot of eyebrows were raised, especially given who came on for him. But the one thing I will say about Fred, and don't get me wrong, I think Pogba is a far better footballer than him. But Fred appears to he's more dynamic. He's got more in the tank. He likes to buzz about more. You don't see that from Pogba. Do you think Pogba would have made that run that Fred did to get the goal?
No chance.
So, he is underrated, isn't he? Let's be real. He is underrated, Fred.
Well, straight away, he balances the team up better because he's left-footed. So in the middle of the pitch, you've got a right footer and a left footer. Not saying that right footers can't play together, but Pogba wants to stay on the ball. He wants to play behind the ball. And it was an overlap first, but, for Fred's goal, which I don't think Pogba would have made. The bigger point for me, Stel, sorry to jump ahead, I can always come back to that, is I think the data is building up now that Manchester United's best performances and results are when Rashford doesn't play. I think the game is over too quickly when he plays. I think they find him with the ball because they have hope. And I think he runs very, very quick. We know that from the halfway line, and the moves are over. But he didn't play against Brentford after his pathetic performance against Aston Villa, although he came on and did well as an impact. and he wasn't used yesterday. And I just think Manchester United have got more control. I think it brings the best out of Fernandes, definitely. And I think it brings the best out of Ronaldo. Maybe less obvious yesterday, but it will do. And it's because Rashford isn't playing that United have had the best performances in the last month, in my opinion. You could possibly say the same about Pogba, but I'm going to give him a little bit more grace.
Do you think at the minute he's more of an impact sub?
I do totally, Rod. Yeah, I mean he's done himself loads of favours, but it can obviously be be classed as harm because he's doing his stuff. When he came off the bench away at Brentford, he was devastatingly good, Rashford. And then when he starts, he's not. So your evidence is there. The phrase, the proof in the pudding. His starts aren't very good, and his substitute impact is good. And yesterday, they've put in a performance that has put some hope into the supporters without him. So the evidence is there.
I think with the Fred substitution, I think even myself was like, that's a puzzling one. But let's wait and see what happens. But I think if you look at it in history, that Ralph Rangnick, he's learning from his mistakes, from not making substitutes early and freshening things up, especially with the pitch yesterday. It would have been heavy. Fred's got good legs, and like Stel says, gives balance to the team. And everyone was questioning it, but
I must admit, the way I saw it with the lads that I watched it with, there was a 5-minute spell before Fred came on where Fernandes was coming into his own half to receive the ball. And I think that Fred came on. I know he scored in the penalty area, but I think Fred came on to bring discipline to the middle of the pitch, to release Fernandes further higher up the pitch again, instead of having him to drop short for the ball. And obviously you saw that later on with the way Fernandes was in the box, was one of his best performances of the season.
Right, you can get it. Answer it. It's fine.
I'm on the phone.
Muting, Steve, before we talk about Leeds, very quickly, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, he's getting better.
Yeah, and this is what I'm about to say. It's almost, I think yesterday was probably his best performance all round for United. Dropping deep, he was beating players. I think his decision making in the final third has improved. Now, I don't know whether it's because of the head coach or Rangnick, so to speak, that he's given him more freedom. Because it seems to be that with Rashford not on that left-hand side, it's almost if Sancho is able to come into his own. Perhaps Rashford has been holding Sancho back a little bit.
Oh, definitely, yes. Definitely.
That being said, this is going to sound really bad, but again, going back to Leeds, they always concede, man. So they're always going to give him opportunities. Am I doing him a disservice here?
Well, Sancho had the Euro missed penalty. Was definitely unfit when he arrived at Manchester United for probably not doing much training for himself. We know it's a good squad largely, and he fell down the pecking order. You just feel now that fitness is improved, performance is improved, confidence is improved, and without a shadow of a doubt, this isn't open house on Rashford. He has got a better last pass than Rashford. He can pick teammates out better than Rashford, right foot, left foot. Eventually, he will start to score goals, and he will absolutely showcase himself to the world that he's a Man United player and he's better than Rashford. He's making baby steps in that direction now, Stel, in my opinion. We don't know what the private conversations are, but you get the feeling he's been told he's going to get a run of games now. He is ahead of Rashford, and he deserves to be because he's a better footballer.
Rod, thoughts on Sancho?
Yeah, didn't do himself any favours, with the late holiday, coming back unfit. But yeah, he seems to be coming into his own now. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's come to a new club, a big club, and he's took time to settle in. And yeah, you can slowly see the quality that he's got. You like to see the pace going that way as well as that way. But yeah, that's only going to come. But the attacking prowess he's got, with scoring goals, with setting up goals, he's got quick feet. He seems to be strong. That low sense of gravity. He seems to be always got a smile on his face now. So yeah, Alanga should have scored when he's basically set it on a plate for him. When he's done great work on the sideline, taking 3 people on. and just place laying on a plate for him. But yeah, he's coming on now as a winger. Very, very good. Very, very good, and just needs to go from strength to strength now, and it needs help. But yeah, Rashford's, that should make Rashford better, in my opinion. He should be looking at him and thinking that shouldn't be happening. I have to sort my game out because I've been here 3 or 4 years now in the first team, and someone's just come in and took my place, and he shouldn't be happy about it. So we'll see the character of him because he shouldn't be sat on the bench with the quality he possesses and the quality we've seen from him. He shouldn't be sat on the bench, but he is through the quality of Sancho.
All right, let's talk about Leeds then. I know it's going to be another inquisition, especially I should say inquest when it comes to Marcelo Bielsa. Jesse Marsh has been linked with a job. I know a lot of Leeds fans don't want to see Bielsa go. That being said, we can say that Calvin Phillips was a big loss for him yesterday. I don't know about Bielsa still, man. I'm still leaning towards the fact that he's got no plan B and he's very, very stubborn in his approach to games. We saw that, I think, was it Strike that went off injured? Was it Strike or was it Koch that went off injured? I can't remember with the... Who went off injured with the head injury yesterday? I can't remember which. Was it Koch, yeah? So they've got makeshift back four as well. They didn't sign anyone in January to lead the line up front, so obviously goals are a problem. Okay, I think they're the highest goal scorers in terms of teams down in the bottom 6 or 7, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 15th and they got 29 goals, whereas Everton have got 28, Newcastle on 26. But all this talk about him potentially being replaced, Leeds' situation in terms of their league position, the defensive frailties. Are they gonna slip into the bottom three?
No,
but
they don't convince me either. He's won one trophy in 40 years, and that's the English Championship. He has given them identity. This fast and furious football, this following people all around the pitch. Obviously, they've got a lot of injuries. And everyone, when they win, say, "Oh, it's great when how they do it." But as you quite rightly say, Stel, they do it without centre forward. They've not got centre forward on the bench. The 3 English lads, although Cooper is a Scottish international, but English, Cooper, Phillips, and Bamford, bit like Leicester City, it's a massive void in their team. But I do think they will always have that home advantage. Didn't work for them yesterday, and that those running legs that will see 3 teams worse than them in the division, but they and him don't convince me either.
Rod, leaving Rafinha on the bench, what do you think the thought process behind that was? Because he's clearly their best player.
Yeah, he's obviously something's happened there because didn't he take him off early for the game before as well?
Half-time game before, wasn't it?
Yeah, so obviously something's happened or something that he doesn't like, but yeah, it's a puzzling one because he is their best player, like you say. So he come on and got a goal. So, but it still wouldn't have changed the outcome. They're far too open against better sides. You're gonna see the result you've seen yesterday. Yes, they're exciting to watch, but it's tough playing that all year, every year, week in, week out. Must be tough.
What about Wolves then, boys? They got a good win against Leicester City. Leicester seems to be on the decline at the moment. But Wolves don't seem to concede that many goals. And while at the beginning of the season they were struggling to score, they're now getting victories and they're really creeping up the table slowly. They're only 2 points behind Arsenal. I think they're 4 behind United, but 2 games in hand. They've got Arsenal next. I don't know. I think they've got a chance of sneaking in, man. Outside chance.
I hope so. It'd be really refreshing. They're brilliant. Like I say, you don't give them we give them a lot of respect, but you don't give them too much notice. And you just think other clubs' history that will be enough for them to be, the size of these clubs for them to be in the top spots. But they just keep quietly going about their business. As you say, they're miserly in defence, but they've got so much talent when they get the ball at the feet and move the ball around as well. They're excellent and certainly not to be dismissed.
The thing is, they didn't have as much possession as Leicester. They didn't have as many shots on goal as Leicester. But on that counter attack, Semedo on the right, Nuri on the left, Neves is just different gravy in the middle of the park. And I think Dendonka, he's another one that's very underrated. You know, he's a unit, and he knows how to win the ball as well.
Yeah. And he was close enough to score at Tottenham last week in the 6-yard box. So obviously very fit, great goalkeeper, really refreshing head coach. They're fantastic, really, really, really good. I think the supporters are brilliant. It's a bit of a fortress for them. And no, they've got something going really good.
And the fact that they were happy to let Traore go on loan to Barcelona just shows that they've got a lot more in their locker than what people think. Because people were saying, "Oh, you know, he's just a speed merchant," and they rely on his pace and his power, etc., etc. But they play the ball very, very well. They're solid defensively. They're very well organized. Connor Cody has been absolutely superb. You know, the EPL points say enough, really. But yeah, I'd be very, very keen to see how they go on the rest of the season. Perhaps injuries and fatigue might take its toll, but you never know, man. Stranger things have happened.
I know, they're good.
They've got a very, very good midfield, very experienced, good footballers, and like you say, Connor Cody and the boy up front. They're a solid team, but like they say, the midfield, they've got a trio of very good footballers.
Neto's back as well, which is a big boost for him.
Yeah, he's decent in.
What about Leicester then?
That's why they probably won't get rid of Jota, because they had him coming through, don't they?
True, very true. So Leicester have gone 6 games
some money
without
as well from the last year or so, haven't they? Jota, sorry to interrupt, Jota, the Traore. No, there's 40-50 million quid.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
And still, you know, still 6th or 7th, and if they win the games around, go 4th. So, you know, quietly going about.
When you got Jorge Mendes in the background as well, you can practically bring any Brazilian or Portuguese player in, can't he?
Really good.
Chinese backers, loads of money there. See?
No, but it's a new manager. They had a slow start, and now, you know, he's obviously embedded his tactics and what he wants across to the players, and they're buying in, and you're seeing the results from it. They don't concede many. And when you don't concede many, you've always got a chance of winning games.
The thing is, they started off the season. If you look at the results weren't great, but the performances
They were playing well, weren't they?
Yeah.
I remember we played against them. We were lucky to beat them. They outplayed us on the day, but we got the result. And there was a few games like that for them at the start of the season. But yeah, they look decent now. Yeah, Bruno, who? Wasn't it?
Bruno Lager.
No, I'm saying the manager's gone. Who went?
Oh, Bruno. What is it? Bruno Lager, his name? Is his first name Bruno? I don't even know. I don't fuck know. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, Leicester, 6 games without a win.
See him in Cyprus soon.
Huh?
Sorry, go on.
Who you going to see?
Sorry. No, nothing. Go on.
Brendan Rodgers?
No, the manager from Tottenham. You know, when on the downslope, you probably go. You know, they'll end up at Cyprus, don't they?
No. They go to like the Australian League.
Oh, okay, Australian.
You know, because you're the one that's been criticising the Australian League, my friend.
No, I wasn't criticising. I was just saying it's not the Premiership.
All right, okay.
As I was saying it, I was thinking, shit, he's played in Australia. But I wasn't being disrespectful. I wasn't being like disrespectful. It's a shit league. I mean, it's not the Premier League. That's what I was meaning.
He's not watching. Don't worry. But yeah, man, Leicester. Jesus Christ, without Jamie Vardy, they're struggling, man. Struggling.
Yeah.
Is that a coincidence? Is that a quinkydink?
Well, no, it's the obvious. It's the obvious. Plus, Johnny Evans that we talk about quite a lot. Maddison was ill yesterday. But it's obviously the big miss is Vardy, and I can't imagine he comes back after this layoff. Like he's done well with injuries in his career. Then every time he got a little injury, he has come back okay. But this long spell now, God knows how he'll come back either. And let's not forget as well, it's a young lad at left back. Chilwell was initially in the start of it all.
Shrewsbury Hall.
Yeah, the centre back who broke his leg in pre-season, Fofana.
Yeah.
If you actually had to say who were Leicester's, if it was the start of the season, say who were Leicester's 3 best players, I think almost to a man, we would say Johnny Evans, Fofana, and Vardy, and they're all out injured.
I think Pereira, the right back, would be out in with a shout as well because I think he's been great since joining them.
Yeah, okay.
But he's had injury problems as well.
Yeah.
And Maddison, and he's not playing.
He was just ill, wasn't he?
Do you think that on-off situation with Arsenal has kind of done a Harry Kane for Maddison in the sense that his head was turned and perhaps he's not as... No?
No, well, he's been brilliant for the last 6 weeks. He was just, his eyes were going in the back of his head, weren't they, in the last game, and he was brought off and didn't start the next game. But I think he's been brilliant for 6 or 8 weeks. There's not many playing that number 10 position, well. He's as good as anybody at it. They've tried Grealish at it at City, can't do it. They tried Lingard at it at United, can't do it. Although he played well there for West Ham. That attacking midfield just behind the striker role. I'm not suggesting he will get in the England squad, but if you look at Bowen at West Ham and Maddison, who take up those areas to get on the ball, they're probably the 2 best at it in the Premier League.
All right. Well, what about Chelsea then, boys? They got a victory against Crystal Palace. Hard-fought victory. Goal right at the end from Ziyech. All the talk is about Lukaku, and I think he only had like 7 touches, which is the least amount of touches for a player since Opta stats were invented. Now, I don't want to make this all about Lukaku, but it seems to me that centre-forward position at Chelsea appears to be some sort of a poison chalice at the moment, since Diego Costa and even Drogba, obviously. They haven't really found that centre-forward that can get them 20, 25 goals. And listen, Lukaku's got the ability to do so. And people will say, well, those comments he made about Inter Milan and his heart's not really in it. I just think that he's going through a pretty bad patch at the moment and he'll come good eventually. I don't know. What do you lot think?
I'll let Rhodri speak first on that.
You think he'll come good?
Or maybe next season will be his year.
I don't think it's going to work out at all. He's pretty much laid his bed now. And for a player to have 7 touches in a football match, that's I don't care what formation you play. As a football player, you want to touch the ball and you have to go looking for it. You have to go and working for it. And he doesn't work hard enough. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. He's got the frame. He's got the ability to play that role. He hasn't got it in him, in his heart to work. He just hasn't. So, for a player like that, a £90 million player to have 7 touches in a game, it's just a joke. It is. I actually watched it today, the whole 7 touches. And it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Doesn't matter what formation, whatever. Your Chelsea football team, you've got players that are around you that are very good. And you're telling me that's just him basically hiding behind centre halves or just not making space or running in channels or dropping off or whatever is required. The 7 touches just unacceptable for a player of his quality in a team of that quality.
The thing is, to be fair, I think this is... Well, I mean, I can't remember the last time he had such a bad season in terms of goal scoring. So, is it Chelsea?
Yeah.
Is it his mentality? Go on, Steve.
I think it's Chelsea, yeah. We've said on this show loads of times, Chelsea are outstanding at scoring from crosses and scoring from corners. Now, that's not to say that should still be up in his wheelhouse, really. That should be still up his street. But at the same time, I don't think they flow through the middle of the pitch enough. If you're Mason Mount and you're in the team, he wants to shoot. If you're Ross Barkley and you're in the team, he wants to shoot. If you are Ziyech and you're in the team, he wants to shoot. Whereas, again, let's use Manchester City as an example. playing without a centre forward, but there's enough bodies up there. They're sharing the ball around the box, waiting for the perfect moment. Nobody really wants to pull the trigger. At Chelsea, they either cross it or they shoot from 22 yards. I'm not surprised he doesn't get a touch.
Now, people have been saying that they've got a striker out on loan at Southampton that can do a better job than Lukaku, which I think is quite unfair. And it's easy to kick a £90 million player while he's down. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to defend Lukaku in any way, shape, or form. But there's obviously something wrong here. Now, people can say it's his mentality. People can say it's the service. But is it a collective? Is it a collective? And let's be honest. I mean, I know Tuchel came out to say, he's our player and we're going to defend him, and he said all the right things. But is there something right between them two?
No. I think we've absolutely covered Chelsea superbly, genuinely between us. I think Rhodri got it perfect. 7 touches is a disgrace, and you've got to work harder to get on the ball. He doesn't work hard enough. I think there's a tick next to that. I'm suggesting that they thrive by putting the ball in from crosses, but any attacking midfield player wants to shoot straight away and get on the score sheet. So that's starving him of any service. And I don't think he was ever a Tuchel signing. I thought it was an idea of I obviously don't know this, but the owner from the Champions League. We have just done this. Strengthen while you're at your best. I am going to get you £100 million striker. I think it was presented to Tuchel. I don't believe that Tuchel recruited him. I really don't. Only a gut feeling.
In that case, then, boys, who comes in? Because if Lukaku is sold, hypothetically speaking, who comes in to get Chelsea's goals? Because it seems to me that they're getting goals from all over the pitch. And I saw a stat today. I think the games that Lukaku has played in, Chelsea will average 1.5 goals a game. The games that he doesn't play in, they average 2.5 goals a game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that tells you everything, doesn't it?
Mm. Well, T-Dot's come out with one. It's a mixture of the two, not playing to his strengths and Lukaku being a lazy bastard.
Yeah, that's my point too.
We've seen it. We've seen it at United. We've seen it. This is why we can speak on it so well, because we've seen it at United. Yes, he'll score you goals, but his touch and his work rate, it's just not up to par of a top striker that you'd expect. Sergio Aguero wasn't the most hard-workingest player, but he scored goals for fun. He knew where to be in the box. He knew where to be. He was a goal scorer. Lukaku doesn't possess them powers. Wayne Rooney worked his balls off. Look at Harry Kane worked his balls off. Diego Costa worked his balls off. Cavani works his balls off. They're all hard-working. Do the all round stuff, and I don't see Lukaku doing that.
All right. Which game shall we touch on briefly?
Burnley.
Yeah, we talk Burnley. Burnley beating my mate's team. Yeah,
just a great win.
Jesus
great
Christ!
Win. Give them hope.
That's a hammer. Well, do you know what? I watched the Burnley Liverpool game, and I think Burnley were quite unlucky not to come away with at least a point in that game, especially the chances they had the first half.
I went to that. Stel. I went to the game.
Yeah. What did you make of that one? You think Burnley were a bit unlucky in that
one? Well, they weren't very good. They had 5 corners, 3 of which never got past the front post. One was a foul on the goalkeeper, and one was punched by the goalkeeper. But they were offside 7 times. So they don't help themselves. So I can't really stick up for them on that. Offside 7 times. If it was a grassroots team, a primary school team, or you were the manager of your child's football team, and they were offside 7 times, I would imagine you'd bring them in and suggest, listen, we can't make any progress because you're offside, and you would obviously teach them how to do it. 7 times offside in the Premier League is not on. But they did have 3 chances, 2 with Vegas, who was just coming to the club, who hasn't got any pace, but he's got a lot of heart and legs. And one from Rodriguez, who's just come back into the team, who should have lifted it over the goalkeeper. So for that alone, Burnley could have actually been 3-0. But I have to say, poor from set plays, 7 offsides, and Liverpool controlled the game. So it was a fair result in the end, but Burnley could have done better with the scoreline.
There was one moment, I think we put it in the WhatsApp group, where Mees almost scored an own goal and he's laughing about it. The right back's put it out for a corner and he's laughing about it. And I'm thinking, are they resigned to the fact that they're going down? And then they go to Brighton, and they absolutely wallop them.
Well, I'm happy to swallow it still, because I was still there in an empty stadium at full time. Well, not an empty, at full time as the ref blew his whistle. And Sean Dyche shook Klopp's hand, shook the official's hand, polite support, clapping for his own supporters straight off the pitch. And I thought that was superb. No fannying about. 3 or 4 of his team are on the pitch waving at the families. Just catch up with your family later. I couldn't believe it. I'm not sure about it when you win, but at least you've got good merit to do it when you've won. A bit of a celebration. Enjoy the moment. I'm not that much of a misery guts, but to be on the pitch waving at your family at full time and you've beaten 1-0, I just thought these lot are too comfortable losing. And I said it, but then they've gone to Brighton and won 3-0. So then equally, every credit to them. That's a brilliant result.
Rod, what do you make of this Weghorst geezer that's come in to replace Chris Wood? He scored against Brighton, and Sean Dyche said that he's a breath of fresh air. Now, he did a lot of running against Liverpool. And I don't know whether we went off with cramp or whatever it was.
He got a dead leg, a bang on the hip still.
Right, okay. Well, there you go. But, yeah, he seems to be a bit of a pain in the arse.
Yeah, I like the look of him. I like the look of him when he played against United. He puts himself about, big unit, good on the ball. Obviously, can score as well. So, yeah, it's a good find. Is it an upgrade from Chris Wood? Possibly. Possibly. So, yeah, it's a good find, and I like the look of him. Yeah, like I said, when I watched him against United, he was a pest. He was big, he had that black eye. Yeah, I like the look of him.
Yeah, he's game. Yeah.
Right.
He takes the ball, he runs around, he gets tangled up with centre halves. He's got a good goal record. He just hasn't got a turn of pace, but we can forgive him that. He's got a lot of attributes. He's good.
What about the Arsenal then? Let's end it with the Arsenal, because we've been very used to. Well, come on, let's be fair. They've had
there's enough Arsenal shit out there. Do we have to?
Well, we've got to touch on it just in case. Don't want to upset certain people. But yeah, good victory against Brentford, and it looks like Arteta is slowly shutting people up. A lot of people, Arsenal fans in particular, were on the fence.
Trust the process.
Well, this is it, and we said it a while back in terms of his. I don't like using the word philosophy, but I'm going to use it on this occasion. His philosophy and the way that things work, and everything he seems to be doing. He's getting the full backing of the board. He's getting the full backing of Edu. The signings that he's made, all right, they spent big money, but they needed to plug holes in certain places. And I'll tell you what, letting Ozil, Kolasinac, or Aubameyang go and sticking with Lacazette, who has been a breath of fresh air for him, I think has been an utter masterstroke, no?
Where's the 70 million Pepe gone? Where's he gone? If these players were playing for United, 100 million Jack Grealish, 90 million Lukaku, 70 odd million Arsenal players, they're all poo, rubbish. And I mean rubbish for their teams. They haven't contributed that they should have. Jack Grealish, yes, there's still time for him. Lukaku, there's no hope. And this Pepe, where's he?
He was on the bench. Got to give him that.
70 million quid. 70 million quid, he shouldn't be on the bench. Same with Sancho, but we were talking about Sancho like that about a month ago, but he's picked up massively. And we've touched on that before. So, but Aubameyang, I totally agree with what he did. You can't have your captain and basically a pleb like that running your changing room. He had to go. So I agree with him, but it's difficult for him. He's got a young squad, and he's getting some good results now. And the experienced players have let him down massively. Xhaka in one, they're getting sent off, but they seem to have picked it up in the last month.
Didn't he turn the man down, Rod, at weekend when he made the substitution?
Pardon?
No.
Pardon?
Xhaka turn the armband down?
Yeah, he's an emotional dick, and he's just.
Did you see that still?
No, I didn't know.
I didn't see it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Who's captain of Arsenal?
Lacazette.
Off. Gave the armband to Xhaka. He gave it to Nketiah as he was coming off, who's obviously not going to wear it, with respect. Went to give it Xhaka and he turned it down.
Yeah, he's threw the armband away, and he wants, and now he's turned it down. He's been sent off multiple times, but Arteta keeps with him. It's when Arsenal's doing well because they've got a lot of clowns, Arsenal fans. So you see them on social media everywhere. So they're doing well, and we can see her. But ultimately, they're gonna fall short to Manchester United or Tottenham.
Okay. Because I think they've got Wolves next, haven't they?
Mm.
I think they've got Wolves next, which is never going to be easy. Then they've got Watford away.
Be the same old Arsenal. Yes, they're doing well, but it just won't. Ultimately, won't be good enough, and they'll be probably finish 6th, possibly 7th. Even Wolves might catch them. That's how.
How do you think Saka's done this season, given the summer that he had? I think he's done very, very well.
Well, he's done
Saka's done very well. Sorry, mate. Smith Rowe, very, very well. They've got some good young players, Arsenal, to be honest. They've got some good young players. It's a pity that the experienced players are letting them young players down.
All right, boys. That's it for another show. Thank you very much. That's quite interesting. But
good to have you back, Stel.
Thank you very much.
Big game Friday. I won't say I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
Not going to politics, just football. Stel, come on.
No.
I'm
not talking about it. I'm not talking about it.
Just keep your phone open from 5 o'clock onwards.
Yeah, we'll be watching.
Fucking hell.
You get that kind of TV over there. You get that kind of pub football over there. I'll find it somewhere.
Put it on the fire stick.
No, you won't unless you got the fire stick with the separate channels. You won't get it. You won't get it.
Well, I'll find it somehow.
You see the highlights on YouTube afterwards.
You want to hope you win anyway, because you and Big Roy will be.
The thing is we win this, and another result goes our way. We sneak into the playoffs, and we might actually have a chance of winning the league, which is weird.
But if you lose, it's season over, isn't it?
League season, yeah. Season, 100%. But
it's a big game, isn't it?
Are
these your main rivals? These?
Yeah.
Was that why you're abusive to him on the what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't stand him. Can't fucking stand him. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
It was like City fans. How City fans feel against United fans. We don't feel like that against City. They still feel bitter against us. I don't know why.
Not anymore. Not in this decade.
Yeah, well, let's leave it at that.
We'll see after them, mate. If they don't win that Champions League, and it'll still carry on.
We're getting a banner.
Not going to bite.
Well, we're getting
a bite, man.
Did you see the boxing that Noel Gallagher from Scouser? He's like 6 times, Noel, 6 times, and he's got nothing. What can he say?
They'll win it.
And you've got Derek Chisora in his face. City. What's he gonna do to him? Like City.
Well, is Chisora a City fan?
No, he's Tottenham fan.
Oh, he's a Tottenham fan.
Tottenham, right in his face. Like, no, you can see
where
was
the boxing anyway? Where was the boxing?
It's
in Manchester.
Oh, what?
Kelbrook,
the MEN? Or the MEN?
Yeah. It's something else now. What's it called now?
Don't tell me you've not seen the Foden incident, Stel. Come on, man.
No, I haven't. Honestly, I haven't.
Come on, man.
No,
we have to talk about that. Touch on that a little bit. Whoever it was, the blonde girl, right?
What's happened? What's actually happened?
The blonde girl. The first of all, right? He's obviously gone somewhere on his own or just coming there to the toilet or whatever. So, and there's clowns walking about all around there. So obviously someone's got a grip of him or someone said something and it's made him unhappy. So he's gone to his box. As soon as he goes into the box, door shut, boom, see you later. Enjoy your night. Instead, the bird's like that, having a mouthful, and the guys are going, nah, nah, nah. And then obviously his mum comes out throwing adders, throwing people about. And then obviously the guy just lamps a one. And then it all goes off.
So
But the guy was lucky because the guy's had a fire extinguisher swung at his head. And I swear to God, it's missed his head by that much. It would have killed him.
Fucking hell. So someone's...
And then Foden's ran over. Then his birds grabbed hold of him again. Yeah, come here. Just soon as he walked in, the bird should have shut the door and fuck off. But instead, she's at the door, giving it large, blah, 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 and it's all gone off. Just shut the door, let them carry on. That's all they want, the idiots. Now they've got what they want. You know, it's a big hook for all. And Phil Foden doesn't need it.
Yeah, the thing is, you got a player with so much talent. It's almost as if he feels like he's untouchable at the moment.
It's nothing to do with Phil Foden. It was nothing to do with him. He has nothing. He did nothing wrong. But he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
I agree. In that respect. If he's done nothing wrong, he's done nothing wrong. But the fact that he plays for Man City, he's a young footballer. He's going to be targeted wherever he goes.
He has done something. He has done something wrong on a human front.
They've got a shit tattoo on his neck.
Well, let the girl walk in first. Then you can shut the door. You know, hold the door open for your girlfriend. Your girlfriend walks in. There's no chance she can turn around and mouth off. He opened the door and walked in himself.
And walked in and told his crowd, "Yeah, I'm getting a load of shit here." So
let your girlfriend go first.
Yeah.
How many people were heckling him? How many people?
3.
3 people.
3.
So at what point does he think, all right, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that? Or did he think that his boys will...
No, but he did. He's left in it. He's gone into his box.
It was over.
And he's gone into his box, but you can see him go like that.
He shushed him off. He shushed him off and shook his head and went to his box and walked in. And he was fully expecting his girlfriend to follow him like a step behind. But she decided once in the doorway, like Rhodri says, just get in and shut the door, to turn around and say, who you calling her? Who you calling her? She wanted a piece of it once she had the security of the door open and her people in the box. She only needed to step through the door and it was done. The lads would have toddled off. But she wanted a piece. She didn't want a piece of it on the walk, but in the doorway, when she felt more safe, she turned around and couldn't help herself. Phil was already in the box. Should have been the other way around, is my point.
And it was his mum that got
his mum's come out and started effing and swearing, but literally they threw one to the ground nearly. And he's obviously not like that. And just...
Stel, I'll send it you straight after this.
Jesus Christ.
You must be the only man in the world not seeing it. So I know you've been away. I'll send it straight after this.
Chasing luggage, leave alone.
Yeah, chasing fucking luggage, which I finally got back. I finally got it back today. Jesus Christ. I got back, landed, and the pilot goes, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, guys, I've got some bad news. You won't be collecting your luggage today. I'm like, you fucking what? Because, due to operational issues, we won't be unloading the luggage. So I've gone through passport control, walked past the luggage section, and there's hundreds of fucking suitcases outside this carousel. So I'm kicking off. I fucking go home, do like an online report with BA. And I check on social media the next day. This woman has gone on Twitter and she's videoed like the section where the luggage comes out. And there's thousands, I'm not even exaggerating, there's thousands of bags, suitcases. Some of them like on top of each other, a mountain of them. Apparently people were getting on some flights to like Vancouver and Toronto, and they didn't have their fucking luggage put on the plane because they had no one to do it because of the bad weather. Fucking unbelievable, man.
Who flies with British Airways anyway?
Well, listen, I've got cheap flights coming back, so should I go with Jet2 next time?
No, Jet2 will look after you.
Yeah? Well, to be honest, they were all right last time I went. Although I had a little bit of a moan because they fucked about with the check-in on the way back. But
So I won't say say his name, but he's booked tickets with Ryanair, and it's ended up going pear-shaped, and he'd just done a promotion thing with Jet2. And so then he's rang Jet2 and says, "Oh, my tickets have gone, blah, blah, blah." He said, "Yeah, we'll get your tickets." And he ended up getting the tickets. So we'll sort you out. He ended up paying about 2,200 quid. Didn't give him percentage off. I think it's Gran Canaria or Tenerife, something like that. For four people, or was it 5 people? No, it was 5 people. 5 people.
Well, do you know what? On the Thursday before I went to Cyprus, I went to Edinburgh for the day. Well, 2 days, and because I'm out with a mate who's a coach at Hibs, and mate, that was bliss. You don't show your passport, nothing. Just take your rucksack on, boom, in and out. That's it. Then you fucking go abroad. Huh?
Where was that?
Well, it was with EasyJet, so I flew to Edinburgh. So within the UK.
Yeah.
But going to Cyprus, man, fucking hell, this is the weird thing. Like, you land, you get off the plane.
Did you have to do any tests and stuff?
Yeah, so what I had to do, they're going to change the rules at the end of the month, but I had to do a COVID test that was negative within 72 hours. But the thing is, I did I paid for a lateral flow test that morning, and you get the results back within an hour. So I paid like 30 quid, had the test done, got my results, flew to Cyprus. But then when you land, you got to pay another 15 euros to do a test there as well. So yeah, and the thing is, out there, everywhere you go, even if you want to go to the supermarket or go to a restaurant, you need to show your safe pass to say that you're jabbed or you're all right. In that
safe
respect.
pass? What do you mean, safe pass?
Yeah, so basically, we got, when you go to fly to Cyprus, like I said, I don't know if they're going to change the rules at the end of the month, but if you want to go fly to Cyprus now, you need to fill out what they call a safe pass, but it's actually a flight pass. So what you do, you go on the government website, you fill out your details, name, address, where you're staying, then you upload your COVID pass or NHS pass or whatever.
This is what I mean. What if you haven't got one of them?
Well, if you haven't got one of them, then at least you can do your lateral flow test or your PCR, and you can upload that document to say that you're negative.
Okay.
But once you land, you do another test, and then you could do whatever. But the funny thing is, when I wanted to go to the north, because the north is occupied by Turkey, you need to do a test to get into that country. But they're smart in Cyprus, right? This is what they're doing. This is just what I think, given how they did the test. They want to reduce the number of the ratio of people that have COVID. So what they do, when you go to do your test in Cyprus, they don't do a swab in your mouth. They do it in your nostril, but they don't even put it all the way up. They literally do it in the inside of your nostril, so it just comes up as fucking negative. So I'm like, she does it literally 2 seconds. I'm like, is that it? So yeah, that's it. Are you fucking serious? And within 5 minutes, oh, you're negative. Oh, okay, fine.
Interesting.
But 3 words you need to understand. This is Cyprus. Anything that's strange or that seems different to you, that's your explanation. This is Cyprus. The speed limit on the motorway is 100 kilometers an hour. If you do 120, that's fine. This is Cyprus. That's just how it works. Honestly, it's remarkable. It's a great place to go, but yeah, Rhodri would feel completely.
I've been to Cyprus many times. I went to Cyprus like 4 times on the bounce once to Napa.
No, that's Napa. That's
yeah,
Napa.
No. Well, I've been to Paphos as well. Yeah, I've been to Paphos a couple of times. Paphos was most recent as well.
I'll tell you what was strange.
Went to the zoo there. They got a zoo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, went to the zoo there. Seen the parrots and all
a lot of
stuff
locals
on the stage.
In that zoo.
Pardon?
A lot of locals in that zoo.
Yeah. So parrots. They did have a parrot show. I remember seeing the parrot show. Very good it was. A bird show. Very good.
Well, I'll tell you what. The most.
It's on the way to the airport.
Yeah, not great. Not great. But one of the most random things happened to me on Tuesday. I went to meet up with a mate at this local pub. It's just, there was like 3 people in there. And I've gone in there and my mate is talking to this Welsh fella. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm sitting there talking to him, and he's telling me that he's got like 50,000 Twitter followers. I'm like, really? So he gives me his @ it's Richard Taylor, and he's like a political commentator. He's just randomly sitting in a bar in Larnaca. what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I just come for a quick holiday. He's Welsh, Rod.
I've seen him face before, but I've never heard. It doesn't ring a bell, Richard Taylor, but I've seen the face. Yeah, the name, nothing.
Yeah.
Gents, I've got to move.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to it anyway. Everyone watching, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. So until next time, adios.